think infrastructure, anywhere in infrastructure, that means the Green New Deal.
Yes.
The Green New Deal, that really, if you read it, it's 14 pages, and I encourage everyone to read the bill itself. Don't read an article about it, read the bill. Confesses our American climate sins and would completely, radically change our country. Now remember, this was something that was introduced a few years ago, and everybody laughed and laughed, right? We're like, what is this AOC? Who is she, and what the heck is the Green New Deal? Well, and it sounded funny at first, but the Democrats have taken it very serious, and they've woven it into a lot of their plans. And this is the bill that's coming up in the next few weeks that I've got to vote on. This is the bill that a lot of people are talking about, and it's all being named infrastructure. Well, within this bill, if it's passed, the problem with this so-called infrastructure plan and having the Green New Deal in it is it's going to put us in a very different kind of predicament that I don't believe we should be in. You see, the past 4 years we had a President Donald J. Trump. God bless him. And he, for the first time, showed this country in a long time what it looks like to have America First policies.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job. And there was a certain country that he very much stood up to for us, all of us, and said, no, we need our American jobs back. Our American companies need to come back because over the past several decades, they got shipped overseas, right? And we need to be respected, and you're not going to spy on us and steal from us, and you're not going to dominate the world. That country is China. Well, there's a very big problem with the Green New Deal in the fact that it's going to say and make law that America has to reduce our net carbon emissions in half. Joe Biden has promised half reduction by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 2021, so that's less than 9 years that America has to cut our net carbon emissions down in half. And then Joe Biden, because he likes AOC so much in her Green New Deal, has also promised the whole world that he's going to completely go to zero net carbon emissions by 2050. Okay? Now, within the Green New Deal and the infrastructure plan, it says that the federal fleet, the entire federal fleet, which is over 650,000 cars and trucks, has got to be turned into electric vehicles. I think they're really cool. I do. I love all these clean energy ideas. I think they're wonderful. I think you do too. But I think the government has no business forcing our country and forcing industries into something that isn't naturally occurring, right? And the government has no business taxing us and regulating industries to force that to happen, and that's what this so-called infrastructure plan will do. Well, let's talk about what else it says. Not only is it the federal fleet, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you as taxpayers pay for, right? So that means you own the federal fleet, and federal employees just drive them. But the vehicles that you pay for the federal fleet, becoming electric vehicles, you know what that means? Electric vehicles are operated with battery engines. Do you know what country dominates the battery market? Anybody? China. You guys are smart. That's right, China. China is the superpower in the battery market. So that means the American federal government's fleet that the American taxpayers pay for, the vehicles you own, are going to be dependent on Chinese batteries. How do you feel about that?
No.
No, I don't think so either. I think that is outrageous. Well, let's go a little bit further. Do you think America has a big battery market? No, we don't. China also owns over 80% of the rights to rare earth minerals. That's what's used to make batteries. Haven't we learned a lesson from the coronavirus, everyone? That it's very important where we get our supply chain from.
Yeah.
And how can we have elected leaders that want to pass legislation that forces us to be reliant and dependent on a country like China? China has stolen from us, spied on us. China spies on us now. They have fully infiltrated our country. They want to be the world dominant superpower. You know what President Xi told President Biden? You know what he told him? He said, President Biden makes his big promise. Well, we're going to cut our net carbon emissions down in half by 2030. President Xi says, okay, you go ahead and do that, Joe. I'm going to ramp up my production, Chinese production. We're going to ramp our economy up because he's smart. He knows that Joe Biden's going to tear ours down. President Xi says, I'm going to ramp up. I'm going to increase net carbon emissions. He said this out loud, everybody, in front of the whole world. Increase our net carbon emissions to 2035. And then I'll look at cutting them down. And then he says, and then our goal will try to be net zero carbon emissions by 2060. That's 10 years after America's supposed to be at zero in 2050. And we're supposed to believe that, right? Because he's like, pinky promise? I don't think so. I don't think so. But these are the decisions that are being made in Washington. And these are the bills that I'll be voting on. And I've been voting on many bills like this.